Yes, indeed. What's happening, world? B Marsh Boxing. I'm back at it once again with another boxing video. So, Zurdo Ramirez and this guy by the name of Arsen Goulamirian. He's an Armenian guy. The WBA Cruiserweight title holder, as a matter of fact. And I ain't gonna hold y'all, man. This was my first time seeing this Arsen Goulamirian guy fight. You know what I mean? I know he picked up a vacant title at Cruiserweight. He's been a champ for many years, ever since not Tony Bellew, what's his name? Usyk vacated all them undisputed cruiserweight straps that he had. So Zurdo Ramirez, I'm not sure if this is his first fight at cruiserweight, but he gets this opportunity to fight for a world title. You know what I mean? I believe he's also fought for a world title at light heavyweight, which he came up short. But in this particular fight versus Arsen Goulamirian, Zurdo Ramirez was just a much better, quicker, faster fighter. Showed more boxing IQ in there. Had a tighter defense, and the man just gave this guy Goulamirian everything he was looking for. You know what I mean? Zurdo was using his jab, using his movement. The first time I remember when I used to see Zurdo Ramirez, even way before he was a world champion, at 168 when he beat Arthur Abraham for the 168 pound title. I thought Zurdo Ramirez was a different kind of caliber Mexican fighter. He's not a guy who just wants to brawl and slug it out and just those all left hooks to the body, left to the head. No, the guy fights behind his jab with his long reach, and he can bang and he can box. You know what I mean? And I think he's a better boxer than he is a banger. You know what I mean? But tonight he kept it close at times. He gave this guy different looks, you know what I mean? Whether he was on the inside, throwing his short left uppercuts, you know what I'm saying? Throwing his short left hooks, or he's stepping back, using his lateral movement, you know what I mean? Using the jab, and beating this guy, Arsen Goulamirian, to the punch, Arsen Goulamirian wasn't visibly hurt in this fight. Neither was Zurdo. But Zurdo was just picking up rounds, slowly by slowly, round by round, using his footwork, you know what I mean? Giving the guy different angles, going to the body, whether it was with the jab to the head and then a straight left to the stomach. Because, Zurdo is a guy who is a southpaw, you know what I'm saying? And this is a dangerous guy as far as big Mexican southpaw who can box. This is not stuff. How many times do we even see Mexican fighters really and truly at cruiserweight or light heavyweight or even 168 pounds? Zurdo Ramirez is different. You know what I mean? And Zurdo Ramirez gave everything this guy was looking for. You know what I mean? Arsen is a big dude. One of the few times you'll see where Zurdo Ramirez was not the bigger dude. You know what I mean? He's always the bigger dude. Remember him when he was at 168? He was towering over fellas. But here he is fighting a legitimate cruiserweight. And I thought Zurdo Ramirez handled himself well, you know what I mean? Now, the guy landed some punches in there. Of course, this is boxing, man. You swim, you're going to get wet. You're going to be in a boxing fight. You're going to get hit at some point. But it wasn't enough to deter the man from not using his lateral movement, going backwards, making the guy come forward. And also, at times, Zurdo Ramirez coming forward himself, you know what I mean? But the lateral movement was, to me, was what won him this fight, you know what I'm saying? Of course, using the jabs, throwing short left hooks to the sternum, short left hooks to the head, and left hooks to the body. And he also clinched when he had to, because the guy was definitely the stronger fighter, in my opinion, Arsen Goulamirian. But this was the most one-sided fight tonight of all these fights that I watched, you know what I mean? It went the distance. I had Zurdo Ramirez winning like 10 out of 12 rounds, you know what I mean? Goulamirian's just footwork and non-existent head movement was really what did him in. Zurdo Ramirez was using his head movement too, and then he would come up from underneath while he ducking and throw a mean left uppercut. Or, he's turning his defense into offense. and also using the 1-2s and throwing combinations that were landing. Did Arsen'S throw combinations? He did, but Zurdo Ramirez's defense was a little bit more tighter. Was tighter than the man Arsen'S Goulamirian, you know what I mean? So this was a wide victory, and here we are. Zurdo Ramirez, guess what he is now? He's a two different weight class champion, you know what I'm saying? This guy was a champion at 168. He went up to light heavyweight, 175 pounds. He only has one loss. What is he? 46-1. His only loss in his career was to the great the man Dmitry Bivol. That was in 2022, and Dmitry Bivol handled his business. We had never seen nobody really take Zurdo Ramirez to school like that. You know what I mean? You check it. Zurdo Ramirez is a guy who is a big dude, and he's a guy that a lot of fighters will try to avoid all throughout from any division he's at. But when he got the fight versus Dmitry Bivol and he lost, guess what he did after? He came back and he washed another former world champion at 175 pounds in the man Joe Smith Jr., you know? And that's when I was like, Zurdo is he's a good fighter. He ain't let that loss, his only loss on his resume to the man Dmitry Bivol, deter him from being what he thinks he should be. And now here he is. He's a two different weight class champion. So I got to give it up to him, you know what I mean? Zurdo Ramirez, can he make his way into the Hall of Fame? Look, these days, I don't know what the criteria of being a Hall of Famer is anymore, man, because I ain't going to hold y'all, man. There's some people who are getting into the Hall of Fame, and on their resume, they haven't even been no Hall of Famer. I'm not going to get into that on this particular video. Maybe when I do a video about maybe who the next Hall of Fame inductee is going to be. I don't mean it's not any form of disrespect or anything. I respect any man who gets in the ring and puts his life on the line for our entertainment. But to me, back in the day, the boxing criteria, as far as the criteria to make it into the Hall of Fame, was a little bit more tougher than what it is today. With that being said, Be Marsh Boxing, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Hit the thumbs up when y'all come in this room. Let me know what y'all thought about this man, Zurdo Ramirez. Masterclass on Arsen'S Goulamirian to become a two different weight class champion. And here he is, the WBA Cruiserweight champion. So at Cruiserweight, I believe they stripped the man. This the guy from Australia. Jesus Christ, I'm forgetting his name right now. He's a damn good fighter. And he's the lineal champion at 100 at Cruiserweight. And he's going to be fighting Marius Briedis on one of them Saudi Arabia cards coming up soon, possibly on the Usyk and Tyson Fury joint, you know what I mean? J.O. Pataya, that's what I'm thinking, J.O. Pataya. And J.O. Pataya holds no sanctioning body belt, but he is definitely the best cruiserweight in the world. He beat the man who beat the man. They stripped him from his sanctioning belt world title, because he was, I forgot, he wasn't fighter. Man, I can't quite remember the politics on why he got stripped, but it really didn't matter because the guy, it's basically like I said before. When Glenn Johnson and Antonio Tarver fought each other the first time, the sanctioning bodies were pressuring them to fight their mandatories rather than fight each other for big money. Both them fighters said, forget about it. We don't need them sanctioning belts. And Antonio Tarver just brought his Ring Magazine and lineal status to the ring and fought the man, Glenn Johnson. Glenn Johnson had also vacated his belt. I believe he had an IBF or WBC, or was it vice versa for the man Antonio Tarver? And that's why I like man like J.O. Pataya. He ain't going to let these sanctioning bodies control his destiny and or trajectory in what he wants to do next. And they should have no right to do that. You know what I mean? Be Marsh Boxing. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Leave your thoughts and comments. And I'm gone. One.